welcome back to another episode of Behind the Business, episode 3. Today we have something special planned for you today. You guys may be wondering why my arm is out here, but let's bring out our guest, Kiana, to explain to you. Hey!
So, as some of you may or may not know, my name is Kiana, but I go by Key and I do tattoos. So today, on Friday the 13th, at that, we'll be doing a tattoo here for Ananiah. The quote here is, "God is my strength," and that is what we'll be working through as we get this interview started.
Yes, so without further ado, we're going to get right into these questions. Well, Kiana is here tattooing me. So, first question. Can you share a bit about your journey as a tattoo artist? What inspired you to pursue this profession?
Okay, so y'all, as some of you may or may not know, some of you might have went to school with me. I went to Midwood, and in Midwood, they did not have too many programs for art. So I would doodle everywhere. I would doodle on my homework. I will doodle on my paragraphs. I will doodle on anything possible. I took that upon myself to also start doing different doodles on clothing, and I just went from there onto real skin.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
My anniversary is coming up. It is October 22nd of this month. And it's going to be making 2 years and 11 months since I've been tattooing.
Wow, okay. So that's a long time. So what styles or themes do you specialize in? Are there particular artistic influences that shape your work?
I specialize in line work. I really do adore tattoos that are most simplistic. I feel as though that is something that keeps it very simple to the eye.
Okay.
From a distance, you know what you're looking at. People from a distance are in awe because, again, with such simplicity, you're able to still see beautiful artwork be done.
Okay.
And it's less painful because you don't got to sit there too long.
Exactly, with all the shading and everything. So you don't do like big tattoos or anything?
I do, but they are still within the realm of line work and more simplistic. So even though they could be on a large scale, again, not too much on the realism just as yet because I am still practicing that.
Okay, I got you. So how do you approach a client consultation for a tattoo? What steps do you take to ensure the design aligns with their vision?
So whenever I start a consultation with someone, the first things first, I really do love when people message me or email me stating, hey, this is what I want. This is where I would like it to be. Of course, as an artist, I do have to sit and give creative direction into some things if someone is not too aware of how they would like to portray their artwork.
Okay.
But that's where us sitting down to discuss everything, it gives us the opportunity to implement all the stuff that somebody would like in their tattoo and then take out all the things that they may not want in their tattoo.
Okay, I like that. And then, I had a question, right?
Yes.
So, have you ever made a mistake while doing a tattoo? Because it's not like you could just scratch it out and like, dang, I messed up. Like, how do you go about that if you have?
So, listen, it happens. And me, of course, being a human, as a tattoo artist, we are expected to, of course, be perfectionists at our craft. A lot of artists, of course, do different styles of work as to where maybe it would be easier to hide it within realism than it may be with line work. With lines, it has to be very precise. Yes. So me having a very steady hand, this is where, again, the confidence that I have within line work is solely because steady hand, gentle-handed, and it's not too likely that I'll make a mistake because I'm taking my time in that world. For if somebody does make a mistake, it is something that can be fixed. If it's something as to where the artist was not paying attention in the moment, the client was not paying attention in the moment, and let's say a word is spelled incorrectly, I feel strongly that that is the only instance as to where you can't go back from it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a line being slightly wobbled, again, once the artist knows exactly what they're doing and hopefully is licensed, that's whereas it can be really easy of a fix to where sometimes, again, as an artist, I'll fully admit, not many times do you even point that out to the client. You just fix it all in the same soup. Yeah.
Because at least you'll know. Like they say, what is it? Like if you mess up on a dance, they won't know unless you make it known.
The thing too is that, again, once you are a licensed professional and you are fully aware, again, we're human, so mistakes happen, but not often. Not often at all.
Okay. So in your opinion, what are some common misconceptions or myths that people have about tattoos or having all of these tattoos and so forth?
I would say the popular thing for sure that is of an unfortunate opinion is that tattoos are for rebels. Tattoos are for those, rebellious people who probably did something wrong, or what, you want to put this on you? You want to brand yourself? And I understand that in everybody's viewpoint of tattoos, it's going to, of course, differ. But I do see tattoos as something beautiful and artwork that you are putting on yourself for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't view it in that negative light. Of course, I am a tattoo artist myself. And something that I'll also say is that I'm also not one to necessarily judge what somebody may want, because as long as they're like, yo, this is what I want, this is what my heart is settled on, I'm down to do it. Something that I implement within my booking and protocols is that if you are unsure about the tattoo, don't get it.
Yeah.
If you have somebody that's telling you the influence of, oh, but this would look nice in this spot, and you're kind of anxious about it, and not good anxious, you're like, I don't know. If it's unsure, it's an absolute no. I do not feel that tattoos are only for gangsters, and I don't think that tattoos even originate from just jails. That is also something that is a misconception, because this is only one sector of history that we may know. Tattoos is something that used to go on thousands and thousands of years ago, and that is something that I also learned by doing some research, which I loved. I loved finding that out. Cavemen having tattoos, people in tribes having tattoos, like, it's nothing new. And that's how people express themselves years ago.
Definitely. How do you think it's changed from time that cavemen been doing tattoos to now? Like, how has it evolved? Like, like, it's different. You think they use the same tools and stuff, or like?
From what I've researched, I know for certain that in tribes, different tribes will have a person be tattooed for different reasons. One of those reasons would be if you are the best hunter. If you are the best hunter, then you're going to get tattooed so everybody in that surrounding will know that you are the best hunter. If you are someone that is a mother or about to be a mother, sometimes they would tattoo a pregnant woman's stomach as a prayer and practice that that child being brought to life and, being in the womb and developing, they'll say that, yo, this is to help that process. And they'll give a certain prayer to that person. And again, this is many different cultures, many different backgrounds, all different parts of the world.
I never knew that. Oh my God.
So that was something very fascinating for me to find out. And it also made me very confident in what I practice, knowing that I'm doing it with the best of intention. But of course, it is not advised now that a mother be tattooed while she is pregnant, because within learning it from my license and from that place, they do say that with the inks have changed significantly over time. The ink that I use is vegan, so it is safe for the skin, but still under my licensed practice, it is not recommended for a woman to be tattooed pregnant today.
Okay, so if you're pregnant and you're thinking about getting a tattoo, don't do it. Just don't.
Just wait.
Okay. All right. So how do you stay updated with tattoos, the techniques, the equipment in the tattoo industry?
So I definitely stay afloat with everything from social media.
Of course.
Love social media. I'm very happy that social media has changed to the way that it is today. You are able to follow in with all the people that is interested in the things that you are interested in, and then you could search it by category. So I definitely find myself looking up things within line work to continue learning their techniques and implement it into my own in the future. Okay,
so you keep yourself updated. Like, that's good. She does a lot of research. That's good. Okay. So I know you mentioned that you'll be down for whatever, if somebody's, she won't judge or whatever, right?
Yes.
But what would be a tattoo that you would automatically decline without hesitation? Or have you ever turned down a tattoo?
Okay. So within tattoo world, something that you get alongside your license and having this practice, you learn and you also become licensed under the mandate that you will not discriminate against anyone. If there is any tattoo that I personally feel uncomfortable doing, sure, I'm a human, I can have my opinion, but I will ask the person to seek medical advice prior to agreeing upon that. I am someone who is very open and non-judgmental. So if somebody wanted, say, for example, a tattoo in a private area, I will say that I have done bikini line tattoos before. I haven't done super private areas, but it's also something that, again, under what I've learned, I would still ask that person to seek medical advice from their provider prior to getting that tattoo in that area and making sure they have the thumbs up, A-okay, that you could get this done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can imagine doing that, and it's like, that's not uncomfortable. You don't think that'll be uncomfortable though?
Just me again.
Yeah.
Super non-judgmental. I understand for some people they might feel a little ick by it, like, why you want to put this here? But fortunately, I haven't got any outlandish requests.
Okay. So how many tattoos is your max to where it's like, all right, that's enough? Because I know you got a lot of tattoos.
So on me personally.
Okay.
As of current, I do have, would you like to take a guess? I know you haven't.
So it's funny because I was gonna do a thing at the end, but
yes.
All right. 32.
And I have been tattooing again for almost 3 years, and I've done a lot of them myself. What you see here on my arm, a great majority are by me.
And you done all of these? The flower one too?
Yes, the flower one I definitely did.
Look at this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, I wanna guess 32 tattoos you have.
Ooh, low. Go a little bit higher. Yes.
52.
50 something for sure. 50
really?
something. Yep.
Oh,
and I will say I don't have anything on my back as yet. On the back of my leg I do have a palm tree, but for the majority it's places that I can reach. So I've definitely tattooed the front of my legs. I've tattooed my left arm since I'm a righty, but I'm definitely in the 50s. Yep.
Oh my god, how is it tattooing on yourself versus a person? Is it harder? Is it easier? Because I know you said you're right-handed.
Yes.
But like, what if it's on the opposite side? Like,
if it's opposite side, I'm gonna have to book that appointment.
Yeah.
But for the sides that I can reach, I will say too, I'm very flexible. So when it comes to tattooing my legs, my calf, I put the stencil to a place that I can manage.
Okay.
And from there, that's where I go ahead to just start the tattoo. An example that I'll give as to what it is to tattoo yourself is kind of similar to the girlies out there and the guys too. If you do your hair yourself, I'm sure that you are aware of what it's like to be doing your hair, combing it out, versus somebody else combing it out in the same manner that you would. You'll be like, oh, there's a hurt. But you can manage it yourself. So I feel like with tattooing myself, it's just this ultimate trust of, I know what I'm doing because of course I'm licensed, but also there's the confidence of, this feels better for me to be doing it. And that high that I have when I'm tattooing, I'm just like, I can't wait to get this done. So the pain is beyond me at that point.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's different. Speaking of high, right? So I hear that you're not supposed to be like under the influence or be drinking or anything while you're gonna get a tattoo. Like, is that true?
So me as your artist, I do let people know within my policy that I also do not allow it to be if you are intoxicated. That is because if you are under any form of influence, of course, your idea for the tattoo may shift. You may not wake up wanting that same tattoo that you wanted when you were drunk. So be very wary. A lot of times within tattoo culture, some of tattoo culture is still very taboo. Some things are sometimes still underground, even if the person is licensed. So a lot of the practice, sometimes people deem as, this is just fun.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that still look at it as, this has the utmost meaning to me. I need to be in a right mind, right state. So when somebody, say for example, is intoxicated, you again do have to turn them away because they are not in the right frame of mind to create their design as well as sit still for the process. If somebody is drunk, their skin will bleed significantly as you are trying to tattoo them. So it makes it difficult for the ink to sit underneath the skin. And this is where all artists all around, once they are in a good practice, they will tell you, it's not the right time. If you are high, I do have and allow clients to be under the influence of THC only if you sit very relaxed when you are under that. That is my only exception. With any other thing, I do not recommend it at all, and I will turn you down for it. I do ask the person to kindly, if under any influence, if they say, I want to take a smoke break, and we just started, I'll tell them, hey, if you are able to sit still through this process, no problem. If you get the giggles, if you get the, I can't sit still, I'm a little restless, again, the tattoo won't be able to be completed.
Okay. So have you had any, like, all right, you've been tattooing for almost 3 years now, right?
Yes.
Have you ever had any, I don't want to call them bad customers, but have you ever had, like, a dissatisfied person that was...
I have. Okay, and I wouldn't say it was many because a lot of times I feel as though I communicate well with the client and the client also communicates well with me. There have been some instances where some things weren't communicated too well. So in the moment of things, something might have slightly been off. And I'm not talking about the artwork wise. I'm just talking about maybe the person's intention wasn't really up to par when they were getting it in that place.
Okay.
Something that I tell people all the time is please feel 100% confident to speak to the artist and change something if you feel like it has to be changed.
Okay.
Do not feel as though the stencil was stuck down in a place. I have to go with it. The artist said this is how it needs to be. No, if you feel any slight, hey, you should change this. Can you tilt this that way? I'll tell you for sure, it is A-okay.
Okay.
So again, there's not too many instances where I've had any, bad encounters with any clients. It's just communication can be a little bit better, but we're all human. So whenever it comes down to it, we communicate effectively so that it doesn't happen in the future.
Okay. I love that. So, if I'm not mistaken, you were working in a shop in Kings Plaza.
I was.
PIP Bodies, right?
Yes.
How was that experience?
That experience was really good. I feel as though I've learned a lot from working within the mall, working along the company, because I did learn some of my strengths and also some of my weaknesses. And being 100% honest, I know that within the industry, I'm definitely comfortable and confident doing tattoos.
Okay.
No problem. But when it comes down to the flash and you got to do it quickly, I know when I signed up, I was like, yeah, I got this in the bag. But having to fully practice it, I knew when certain things were overwhelming to me and me experiencing burnout. Burnout is a real thing.
Okay.
So for that, I would say I got to learn, of course, just the experience about being surrounded by people, being in a public space, being in the public eye, being asked a million questions, whether I'm on a break or whether I'm just passing through. So that's very I love it because I love to engage, but I also learned so much of myself to create boundaries, healthy boundaries within the workplace, and also healthy boundaries for self and to do my practice.
Okay. So while working there, how many clients did you get a day? What was your hours like there?
So my hours, I did it to myself. So me, within being in the tattoo world and industry, as a tattoo artist, unless you are in a shop that is super strict and you are following along their code and their time, you can do any hours that you want.
Okay.
So with that, being in the mall, of course, the mall is only open and accessible to the public for a certain amount of time. If I'm not mistaken, that's from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So within those time frames, it's either I'll come into work early, and early for me being around 11 sometimes, and then leaving out either when the mall is closing or sometimes a little way after. If tattoos were to be done and they were on the larger scale and I'm finishing late at night, that's where I would just sit in. Once the person is confident and okay, we'll get the tattoo done super late.
Okay. But you was doing them late. How was you getting out the mall? Were there security still there?
Yeah, so you can exit, but you can't come in at that time.
Okay.
And being that I work there, it's no issue. I closed up the store and everything prior to leaving. The client would always leave before me. I'd clean up the space and then be on my way home.
So you said you realized your strengths and weaknesses while working in the mall. What were some weaknesses?
Some of my weaknesses were, again, with boundaries. I feel like that is the most important and key thing to say is the boundary part. Some people will come to me, and I've had instances where, again, super non-judgmental person. I'm super open to hearing your ideas at any point in time. But I've had instances where I've been, I don't want to say it like this, but shoved into my own room. Somebody's super excited. They shoved me into the room. Yeah, so I would like you to do this tattoo for me, and kind of just pull down their whole pants, show me their thigh, show me something that needs to get done. And I'm like, oh, you didn't even ask me if I'm comfortable with that. Yes.
Yeah.
So for that, again, it was just girl, because again, I'm walking with them, I'm talking with them, but again, to be kind of pushed into a corner real quick to be shown something, I'm like, unfortunately, I'm not even able to do this piece. I didn't say that to the person or the people because I felt as though, oh, you're being rude to me. No, I was just I don't even practice this work that you're looking for, but you didn't ask me prior to exposing yourself. So certain things like that, I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to talk and have a consultation, I need it to be booked to where I'm intended to do that, or I need it to be where it's communicated prior to, again, the exposing of certain areas.
That's OD. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And what were some strengths that you had that you've realized over the time working there?
Girl.
Okay, let's hear it.
Girl. Some strengths is that as much as I am a human being, when it's time to be in work mode, I am like a robot. So back to what you were asking about the estimate of how many clients I would have a day. Sometimes I would have up to 6 people, 7 people a day. And this would vary because tattoos, of course, come in different sizes. So me having, you know, this many people, it's very little room for, again, self. So as much as the strength is, I can do this, I am knocking through it, I'm making the paper. The weakness was, girl, did you take a lunch break? No. So that's where, again, I found balance in that space and time.
Okay. So, being that you didn't find, I guess, not boundaries wise, but you wasn't taking the time out for yourself, how did that affect you, like, personally in your life, mentally, working those hours and, you know, how did that affect you?
So within that time, I feel as though it was like a high at first. I was very excited at everything. I felt very like fulfilled. I felt like, oh my goodness, this is where I needed to be my whole life. I remember telling some of my coworkers like, yo, this is the best job ever. Like, this is the best choice I ever made. And again, that was in the start of it where it's like, wow, like I'm just so thrilled because something that I dreamed of and decided to, like, you know, work my journey towards, it's really happening. And that's where I'm like, okay, the excitement is there, but when the burnout started to come, that's where I'm leaving the mall and I'm happy, I'm ecstatic in the client's face. But then heading home, the tears is rushing down. I'm like, oh, my back is killing me. My shoulder is killing me. So it came with, you know, certain physical ailments as to where if I wasn't getting enough rest either the following day or giving it to myself within my off days, that's where, again, full burnout to where my body is physically feeling as though it's shutting down in some areas. I kind of feel in a mental space of like, oh my goodness, I can't fulfill this person that wants to be taken right at the moment. So it started to kind of like overload into other things. And then I'm like, girl, you need rest and a chiropractor, but you need something.
If there's any chiropractors out here, let us know.
Yes.
You know?
And just, you know, you do have to pour into yourself. I think that was also a big lesson learned. You do have to take time. I guess I could speak for any business when I say that. You do need to take time for yourself in order to recharge, rest, and then get back to doing what it is that you love.
Because your body will literally, if you don't rest, it's going to force you to shut down or rest because it's like, it's not a joke.
And I've learned that through even being sick. It's like you would not know that that's coming to you unless your nose start running, and then that's where you got to take the time. Yes.
That is so true. I never even thought of it like that. That's so true.
Your body will tell you what it is that you need to do. And granted, when you are in a high of something that you are passionate about and you are going and going, you are completely right to feel confident to do all these things. But in you being excited, create healthy boundaries for yourself.
Okay. That's the topic of the day. Create healthy boundaries. I'm going to learn that. So you had an injury, right? While working there on your thumb. Like, how did that affect business? Did your thumb fully heal? Like,
so I went out for an event in May. This was around the time of Cinco de Mayo. And
of this year.
Yes.
Okay.
So the injury itself didn't happen on the job. It happened outside of the job. But when I tell you, I was having a ball, and I'm very clumsy. Aside from tattoo world, guys, I am very clumsy. So I was over here dancing, having a good time. Under the influence because I was out of work.
Of course.
And I tripped. I tripped in this way as to where I fell on my thumb. So me falling on my thumb in the most silliest way, that's where I had a sprain, and I didn't know until I'm taking clients the next week, and I'm realizing like, I'm getting through these tattoos, but my hand is killing me. So that's where I went to a hand orthopedic. I went to an orthopedic, and he was able to tell me like, pulling my thumb certain directions, he told me you have a sprain. So I'm like, oh man, okay, I gotta take rest. And then from there, that's where I had to take some time to self. Again, your body telling you, girl, you gotta rest. And I had no choice because it was my dominant hand.
Oh my god. So is it walk-ins that you had for VIP bodies, or like was it appointments?
It was a mixture of both, but then I made it to be solely appointment based because, again, boundary. It's some people coming in there like, yes, I want this tattoo in this spot and this and this. I'm going to walk to this store and maybe I'll come back. The maybe was not cutting it for me. So I needed to have, again, certainty to know that, okay, I'm intended to stay here for you, but your intention is also to come back because you've paid a certain form of a deposit or you have made it to where this is where you're going to be. We've spoken about it.
Okay. Because I asked that because, okay, when you had your injury, right?
Yes.
Did you have appointments already in place?
Yes.
To where you had to cancel them?
For a good sum of them, I was able to sit through them, the very small ones. Okay. But when it came to the larger pieces and projects that I was going to be working on, I definitely did have to cancel with them. And with my policy being strict, I wasn't mean at all. I took the exception of, okay, I'm going to send you back your deposit until I'm able to get back in the game of doing all of this.
Okay, and how long were you out of work?
3 months.
3 months?
3 months.
Yep. How did that affect business and everything? Like,
things with that was like, again, the time period of me having to heal up. But from it, I got to, again, sit with myself and analyze and learn, like, okay, getting back to it, what would you like to be different? And from there, that's where I, again, implemented new things into my policy. And I made sure that within the time, I create the new flyers, create the new post about it so I can update everyone. And business being slow for that amount of time, I also started to seek other options for myself. And that's where I made it upon myself also to grow and be in a new environment. So I will be having an independent space being built in Flatbush coming soon.
Okay, so you just completely omitted VIP bodies.
Yeah.
Okay. How did they take that?
So it was a mutual agreement because, in all honesty, I have been the only artist there. Okay. So that was also something that went along the lines of, you know, I am human. I cannot service everyone, and I don't mind to admit that. So when it was brought to my attention that, you know, certain time is passing, how's it going for you? I said my healing journey needs to be a little bit longer than I anticipated, as my doctor stated. So from there, again, it was just a mutual agreement that it was time for me to move on, and also me having it in the back of my head that I would have a space soon enough.
Okay, that's good. So Flatbush coming soon. Love that. Okay, and is most of your clientele in Flatbush, or?
Yes, actually, a good sum of my clientele are definitely from Flatbush, from New York, and some people come from all different ends. And by that, I'm meaning I've had a client come to me from Italy. I've had a client come to me from Hawaii. Yup. And all of that has brought me this sense of like joy and also confidence within my work. Because I'm like, if you could come to me from this distance, it's super appreciated. You think that you're here for a vacation and you're like, I'm considering getting a tattoo by her. Yeah. If I know that that's been over a course of time, again, it's super appreciated.
Oh my God, that's lovely. So being that happened, like, how did that make you feel? Did you ever see yourself coming this far to where it's like,
I know for sure I manifested it, but to see it real time and be in this reality, it's definitely something that still to this day I'm just very thrilled about. Okay. Because I'm grateful for anyone who decides to be serviced by me. Even having a slight conversation of, I'm thinking about this. Yeah. I love that people even consider me to be their artist.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So have you ever had a time where, okay, being that you were out on your injury for like 3 months, have you ever had a time where you was like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I should do something else, or this is a sign that I shouldn't do this. Like, have you ever had that kind of feeling?
Yeah. As a human, I feel like we all go through it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I feel as though another strong point that I do have in my life is that I sing. I play the guitar.
She sings very well. I remember from high school days. Oh my gosh.
So from there, I just felt like this sense of like, not do I let go of tattooing completely, but I'm like, girl, you need to even set boundaries for self to work on your other crafts, work on your other stuff that you're good at and talented at. So I did find myself in the studio on 2 occasions to where I did have a great time. And I know that within tattooing, I will also be going back to the studio from time to time. I'll make that a priority.
Okay. I love that. And so what do you believe sets a great tattoo artist from everyone else in the same field?
I would say definitely your attitude. There are a lot of people within the industry who have a very nasty attitude. I'm not going to name any names, but a lot of times people could speak on it themselves. And it's just, again, unfortunate that that will be a great sum. Okay. I feel as though every artist is not as I am. And I don't mean that on a cocky note. I just simply mean that not every artist is warm and welcoming, or willing to erase and stick a stencil down a million
erased
times.
and stick this over before this. I kid you not. Like, she done walked me through a whole thing. I have like 4 or 5 tattoos on my body. I have never been through this, and I ain't just saying this because we on camera.
Yeah.
Like, you are very welcoming and warm, so okay.
And for that, it's again where some tattoo artists are tattooing. I can't judge because, again, everyone is different. Everyone has their own story. But there are some artists where you'll know they're focused on their book versus how is this client feeling? How are they, you know, wanting this to be? Some are not as enthusiastic, and that is okay. So I feel as though it is important to ask questions and also, if you can, have a sit down with the artist or conversation with the artist prior to being serviced by them. Because once you have to sit with them and you feel any type of energy that is not what you were trying to go for, you are not wrong for telling and thanking the artist for their time and choosing to go another route.
That's true.
Or with someone else.
Because a lot of people will probably just sit there and be like, well, I'm already here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's as to where you may not regret anything in that moment, but afterwards there may be certain things that, again, could have been tweaked. There may be certain things that you didn't get to communicate to the artist because you may not have felt safe to do so. Exactly. And again, I urge that if you do not feel safe with an artist, do not sit and continue any process with them.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good note to take.
Yes.
I think the people I've had so far, I think they've all been good, so this is good. Okay. What is often glamorized in the tattoo industry, but things are not always what it seems?
I think something that I could say about that, I mean, that could go with multiple different answers. Something that I could say is glamorized is definitely taking over your whole entire mass of skin with one thing. You do not have to go big or go home. And that's something that I urge people, especially because I do line work of any size. You do not have to go big or go home where you take up a large mass of your skin dedicated to only this one certain particular design. I am somebody that is open to patchwork. Patchwork is similar to what we have going on here. If you decide to add anything in the surrounding, similar to what I have here on my own arm. I love that you can put multiple things and have it all mean something to you, but have their own designated spots. If somebody goes and no shade, I promise y'all, no shade, but if somebody goes and blasts a certain design and again it takes over the whole space, time may pass and you may be like, damn, I could have put this here instead. Yes.
Because I was thinking, you know, it's funny. So I was actually going to put the tattoo here, but I said, you know, I'm going to put it here because I think I want to have something dedicated to this whole arm. Like, I like to look at it as, like, no disrespect to anybody. Like, you know, I love tattoos of all kinds. Well, not all kinds, but you know what I mean. And so I look at it as, like, people have tattoos here, 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 here. And I'm like, they don't mean it. Like, not that it don't mean anything, but I feel like it's just a whole bunch of tattoos everywhere. And I'm just like, okay, why is it not all one piece? I don't know if it's just me or whatever. Because, like, okay, the back of my leg, I have an Ace of Spade. That was my first tattoo. And I said, okay, that leg just has to match the whole theme. Yeah. So the next tattoo I got was like one of my friends' brand. Actually our first guest that we had, I have a tattoo of his logo. And it goes with the theme, you know, Ace of Spade. And I was just like, you know, I think I'm gonna just keep with that theme on the right leg. This arm is gonna be, you know, now is the time, and then find something. So now that I have this one here. But I mean, you know, to each his own. So.
And that too, it's like I guess this wouldn't necessarily go into what is glamorized, but something that is consistent within tattoo world is one or two things. Somebody will have a tattoo that is cohesive, or all of them be cohesive, or not at all. And that's where you can have sporadic tattoos. You can have tattoos that not many people like this new age style of tattoos, as to where it kind of gives very small tattoos that are just grouped
dainty?
together. Dainty is cute,
Okay.
but it will be people on some. I'm tattooing these little tiny tattoos on me all over in my room. Got a kit from Amazon.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I know what you mean.
And the style is also kind of deemed to be drunk tattoos, the little ones that you get at little parties and such.
Yeah.
Those are cool if you really enjoy them, but overall, a lot of times it is also likely that those are the ones to want. Those are the ones that people oftentimes regret and may need to have covered up or want to have covered up.
Okay, that's true. Either that or they'll probably look at it like, I remember this.
Yeah.
I was doing this when I was drunk.
Yeah.
In a party. I feel like that would be something I would say.
And again, every client is different.
Yeah.
So you will have a client that may have tattoos like that, but they love it and they got a story to tell and they're happy to tell it. Then you'll have somebody that's coming to you like, girl, I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I need to cover this right now. I think a client that I would like to mention, and hopefully she doesn't mind this because we did laugh at it together. She had a butt tattooed. Okay. And I'm talking about a line work tattoo of a butt. Your butt cheek. Two butt, yeah.
On her butt?
Cheek. No.
Oh,
she had it on her leg. And she became a model.
Oh.
So in the modeling world and industry, she wanted something new on herself. And she came to me and she said, how can we cover this? And I was like, by this, what am I looking at? And she said, yeah, I got a butt tattooed. And then she decided to cover it with a turtle. And it came out amazing. Amazing.
Oh my
so
God,
the
I want
butt,
to see that. We gotta
I'll show
add
it
that
to you.
clip here.
The butt is covered inside of the turtle shell. So she got a turtle, again, tattooed over it to where you're not seeing that was previously there at all.
Okay.
But I'm like,
so
this
you've done
is
cover-ups.
interesting. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Was that your only one? Or
No. Another honorable mention of a cover-up is that I had a client I think she got a Friday the 13th tattoo done, and it was of lips and vampire teeth, like the fangs.
Okay.
So we could also put in a picture if you're able to do that.
Yeah, we can add that
So with her, she asked me, she said, what am I able to cover this with? Because all I'm thinking is like a big blacked out heart. So I'm like, a heart that's shaded in, just
that
solid
is so
black.
Ugly.
So I told her, I'm like, I, as an artist, if this is what you want, I got you, no problem. But are you open to other ideas? So she said, okay, what do you have in mind? So I said, what is another tattoo you wanted on some other part of your body? So that's when she mentioned to me she's interested in having a koi fish tattooed. So I said, a koi fish we can do over this. You might not have thought that, but you can, because fortunately that previous tattoo is very faded. That's also an honorable mention. If the tattoo is old, faded.
What's considered old?
Old in the sense of, I would more so say the word washed out.
No, I mean like year-wise, like.
But I mean, a tattoo could look aged and it could be 3 years old. You know what I mean? So again, once the artist did an amazing job, it may hold up to where you wanting to cover it might be difficult for that newer artist to do so. Okay. So for that, it was to where that tattoo was done long time ago, like years ago for her. It was washed out, so it was very easily able to be covered by anything. And that's something that I also tell people. If you have it very faded, it's easy for me to cover, no problem. If the tattoo is something that has a lot of depth to it and it's very dark and saturated, it is difficult to cover, and that's where laser is recommended.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I cannot do the laser. I saw how it happens. I'm like, but then I think of it like you already got the tattoo. You can go through the pain with the laser. So.
And for me, I've never experienced laser pain. I've never seen it done in person, but I have, again, researched and seen certain things online. But why go through that when you can sit, plan it out better, and get it done? That's why I always tell people to make sure that what they're doing is solidified.
That's true. Okay. So what is one thing, if you had the chance, that you would change about your business?
One thing that I would change about my business? That's a great question. Something that I would change about my business is, I would like to say, just upgrading it. Because I feel as though, again, fortunately, I have been on that process and path of change throughout each part of the journey. So I don't feel like there's anything that needs to be changed at the moment. However, I would love to grow and I would love to expand. And I feel like the most significant change that will come in the near future is me having a store and then having like-minded artists like myself to work within it. That is something that I'm striving for. Yes.
Okay. Well, you say you have your shop soon coming.
Soon come.
Yes. we're gonna wait for that. So, for all aspiring artists, what are some words of wisdom you have for these individuals? Something that, like, to look out for, you know.
For all aspiring artists, my biggest thing is research, 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 and give yourself the opportunity to learn and take in a lot of different things within the realm and world of what you would like to be a part of. Because when I started tattooing, I really thought, like, damn, I cannot draw a portrait for nothing on a piece of paper. I know I could draw a real crispy line, though.
Really?
Yeah. So this is where, for me, I don't offer portraits to my clientele just as yet. Yeah. It's something I would love to advance and continue to, research and work on behind the scenes until I'm confident to do it on skin. But for that moment, I swore up and down, like, to be a tattoo artist, you must have to do this.
Yeah.
And that was not true. And I learned that from researching and finding line work, finding fine line, finding floral, and little things that are very easily able for me to do.
Okay, a lot of people don't do a lot of this research that she does. This is good. It's good to know. Okay, so we know that you have a lot of tattoos. We're going to guess how many she has in our next snippet. But what is one meaningful tattoo on you that is like, this is just like, your staple?
Ooh, it's on my leg, so I wouldn't mind showing you in a few, because we are almost done with this tattoo as well, which I'm very happy.
This was quick, actually.
But I will speak on it. I love all of my tattoos equally, and I mean that because each one I had put real true thought into. But I will say one of my favorite tattoos ever is my Aang on my leg. I love my Aang tattoo.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Love it.
Okay.
So the Aang... Yes, so the Aang that is on my leg, I put him there because, one, that is my favorite show ever, and that is something I had to really sit and process, like, yo, I'm putting Aang on me because I feel like Aang. I've had certain points in my life where I felt as though I kind of ran away from the world real quick. Yeah. I was like, I gotta leave this alone real quick. I gotta get into my solitude and then be able to help other people, and I feel like the entire show in itself shows a lot of that selflessness that Aang shows, but then is also able to, show the depth of things that he's gone through. So I feel as though, low-key, I'm Aang, so I put Aang on me. Okay. I relate to a lot of the characters in that show, but I think Aang is who stood out for me, and that's where I tattooed him as this reminder to keep going and keep spreading your kindness to the world.
Okay. So I hear your anniversary is coming up this month. Anything special that you have planned?
So I'll actually be going on a road trip. So I'm very happy that again, with implementing my boundaries, instead of choosing to work, I'm taking that leisure to celebrate on a road trip.
Okay. So where are you going to go to, if you don't mind this accent?
It's cool. I'll be going to Florida. I'm going to go and spend some time with family. And I know it's a drive away because we in Brooklyn.
Road trips are fun, though. I like road trips.
I love road trips, too. So I feel as though, again, that's going to be a moment for me to take it all in. Yes, it's been the time. And when I come back, it's just to get back to it. I have been taking virtual consultations as well as doing house visits for the time being until my space is complete. Okay. But in all of that time, it's going to be behind the scenes planning and all of that happening.
And you have a giveaway right now going on your Instagram, don't you? Okay,
yes,
so what
I
is
do.
It going on? What is it? Tell us about it.
So the giveaway that I did is this year. And I say that because the 2 previous giveaways I've done, being that this is, going into the technical 3rd year. Okay. The first giveaway I had ever done, I wanted people to draw somebody saying or shouting Tattmenext, because the logo, as you can see, is it being said.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
So from there, that was the first giveaway, which went really well. The second giveaway was giving away a small tattoo that I designed and customized myself. That one also went really well. And this giveaway this time was implementing the Polaroids that I've done. Shout out to my brother. He is someone that inspired me to do Polaroids, and the Polaroids are simply just a little snapshot. That the Polaroids are a little snapshot of you with your tattoo completed, and you just leaving in Sharpie anything that you would like. So I tell people to leave a little quote to self They could leave a quote to me, or they could just simply sign their name and leave their mark, and I put it in my little folder. So with that, this giveaway that I did was again implementing the Polaroids, but I took all of them out of my folder and binder and book, and everyone had to count the stack of them that I put within the picture and video on Instagram. And whoever got it right, they're going to be winning an 8-hour session with me.
Wow, 8 hours?
Yes.
Woo.
So 8-hour session that has a really, really nice discount on it. So you can sit and get that 8-hour tattoo of your dream.
Okay. So we're going to look on for that. Your Instagram, tell us.
My Instagram, y'all, is Tattmenext, Tattmenext,
All right.
with the little purple bubble as the logo.
So we're going to look out for that. But, I mean, without questions, we finished the whole tattoo.
Yes.
This was perfect timing.
Let's show it off.
Thank you so much, Kiana.
Let me wipe it for
cute.
you. Show the people. Show the people.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's no glare. You can see everything. There you go.
So it says, God is my strength.
Mm-hmm.
This is perfect.
Yes.
There was no pain. I mean, I'm susceptible to pain. I don't mind it. So.
You know, the interview went how it had to go.
Did.
You didn't
So we
flinch,
did
you didn't move, and it looks great. And as you can see, being gentle-handed, there is no blood in the scene.
That's why I didn't see. I didn't see any blood. I was like, okay.
So it's done with vegan ink,
Good.
gentle-handed, and now there for the rest of your days.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the 3rd episode of Behind the Business. We had our special guest here, Key, for Tattmenext.
Yes.
If you or anyone you know have a business or you want to come on the show, feel free to email or DM us on Instagram at Behind the Business. Thank you, and see you again soon.
I don't know what I'm gonna do no more.